DaBruhPodcast, episode 10, season 3. I am your host, KC. Joined alongside me is my co-host,
J Moon, and we do have a special guest in the building.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead
tonight.
and give him a hand clap. I appreciate this guy. He goes by the name of Brandon. He has a very, very, very big following on YouTube. His YouTube is Black Men's Beard. Well, Brandon, go ahead and introduce yourself and all your ventures.
Yes. Thank you all for having me on. I greatly appreciate this. I go by, they call me B. My mom calls me Brandon. So depending on the situation, but yeah, you can call me B if that's a little bit, quicker to the point. But I started a YouTube channel called Black Men's Beard about 7 years ago. And I started this YouTube channel because I myself was struggling with trying to figure out grooming tips and techniques and trying to get my beard. I wanted my beard softer, I wanted my beard to shine. I wanted my beard to thrive. And I really didn't know how to do that. So upon going on YouTube or just Googling, I really didn't find anyone who looked like us and really could relate to the experiences that we often share. And so I was like, well, let me figure it out. So by trial and error, I figured out how to groom my beard. And then, guys would see me, hey man, what do you do your beard? What are you doing? What are you doing? And so I ended up saying, hey, you know what? 5, 10 people, it got to a point to was just too many people I can actually help at one time. So it was like, what better way but to just start a YouTube channel. And at the end of the day, I can send you the video and then you can send it to your friend and it can be something that we can share amongst our community. And that's really what it was about, just going on there, educating and helping other brothers like yourself, like myself, elevate their grooming game. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, it expanded to something far greater than what, I would have expected. And so it expanded in from not just beard care, but also helping men with who are dealing with hair loss, helping men who are dealing with skin issues. So began to just really expand the conversation, and when it came to grooming. So from there, I was, I slept on my cousin's couch for about 2 years, just building up the channel, and from there moved out to Atlanta, and my business partner Joe. I asked him, I said, hey man, I just need 3 months. And I told my cousin the same thing when she let me sleep on her couch, but 3 months turned into 2 years. And then that 3 month
that's a good cousin
with my
right
business partner. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. So I have to definitely circle back around. I'm gonna circle back around to her, but very supportive. But I moved out here to Atlanta. When I moved out here to Atlanta, I didn't have no place to stay. I had no place. I had nothing. The only thing I had was, well, I did have something. One thing I had is a YouTube channel, and I had a community. So I did have something. And so from that point on, I was on my, my business partner let me come in and stay. And then from that point on, it turned into a partnership where we started together, Evan Alexander Grooming. And we've been able to build the brand from zero to a multi-million-dollar brand.
That's dope. That is really dope.
And it's funny that you say that when you started, with your beard and stuff, because I started with the same thing, like going on YouTube, trying to figure out tips to, make it shinier, softer. And I was running into the same problems too, not seeing people that look like us and trying to figure out what works for my beard, what products I should use and which products I shouldn't use. So yeah, like in the beginning of my journey, I was going through the same thing that you were saying that you are going through.
I'm kind of going through that right now. My beard used to be full, now it's patchy again. But I have like a bunch of questions for you just in general, because I'm like trying to get back to that fullness of my beard. So the first question, when did you really start taking your grooming serious? What age?
I would say when I started, I was in a discovery phase when I was in college, 19, 20. I was in a discovery phase and I was trying to figure it out. I remember I never forget my freshman year in college. I ended up using a razor to shave, some of my hair. And I think I was doing like a research. I think I had a report. I think I had a presentation or something like that. So, and so I just wanted to, come in there, look appropriate and ready for the presentation. And so I shaved, and my face started to bump up real bad. Now, mind you, people would tell me, man, don't mess with that razor, don't mess with that razor. But I did. I didn't have anything. Again, I'm in the discovery phase, so I'm still trying to figure out like everything. I was trying to figure out body soaps, deodorants, like, you know, your body's changing as well too at the same time. So hormonal, from a hormone standpoint, you're going through changes. You know, just everything is, and then your taste is changing as well. You know, your lifestyle is changing. You know, so there's a lot of things that's going on. So I'm in this discovery phase trying to figure out what to do. And I really didn't, I can't say that I figured it out, because I didn't figure it out. I still was caught into that particular loop. You know, of course you have your basics, you know, your deodorants, your you know, brushing teeth, things of that nature. But those are just general things. But when I started, I didn't recognize, like, I wasn't taking care of my skin like I am now. I take care of my skin better than I did when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean?
And
so
be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so you get more educated. The more information you have, the more it's going to empower you. So that way you can improve yourself. And it wasn't until I got the information, then I was able to improve myself. Before that, I didn't have information. So when I lacked information, I lacked the ability to improve my my grooming standards.
I was kind of in the same boat with you when it came to shaving. I was in the military and we had to shave. And I didn't know anything about shaving because I'm going in at 18. I didn't know that black people's faces bump up differently. Using Gillette, using the scented shaving cream wasn't good for me. So I had to at some point get like a medical waiver where I didn't have to shave. And then I learned throughout time there's different shaving creams for our kind of faces because our hair grows in differently than everybody else. It grows in curly, so we're more likely to easily bump up and rash up. So I'm using like the Gillette and whatnot, and next thing you know, I'm just like bumping and it's irritating really bad, and I had to get to a point where I had to like kind of fish it out. So I learned that at an early age, and then as I got older, when I got out of the military, I transitioned, and I was just like, now I want to grow a beard, and then I'm looking all on YouTube trying to figure out how can I grow my beard healthy, and then I just kind of, it was a few videos here and there, but I'm like, some of this oil doesn't work. Like it makes me bump up. Some of it, you know, it'll stick on your face, and I'm like 31 now, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, you know, when you get older, your beard doesn't get as healthy as it was when you're younger. So now I'm just like, I stumbled across one of your videos, and I was like, man, this dude, he really talking, because I thought about different ways to do the beard thing. I thought about what is it, the stuff called?
Minoxidil.
I thought about that, but then it was like, it makes your hair fall out, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to take that risk. What's your opinion on the Minoxidil?
You know what? That's a really great question, because I get that question, you know, all the time. My what I've always been about is looking for alternatives that was safe, that provided you some security, and that had minimal to no side effects. And since I've started the YouTube, I have been on that. Prior to me starting YouTube, I have been on that, you know, that particular journey, and finding things that were a little bit more healthier for me, that were a little bit more sustainable, that have put me in a position to enjoy the remainder of my life. So when it comes to Minoxidil, there are groups communities that I'm a part of, because I'm always wanting to know what's going on. You know, I just want to be in the know. And there are groups where guys who have used Minoxidil, and it helped. It helps. And the reason why it had worked for them, not everybody, some people said it didn't work, but you do have a great deal of guys who do say that, hey, you know what, I was able to go from a baby face to a hairy face, you know.
So take, man, it's a huge risk though. I don't know if I want it bald up top or below. Like, nah, I'm good. Like,
So what Minoxidil does, it opens up what they call your potassium channels. Minoxidil was initially for people who were having issues with blood flow back in the 70s. So they were giving people, the scientist was giving people Minoxidil, and then he was like, wait a minute. you growing some hair on, you're growing, like for ladies, they were growing hair on their legs. Some guys who were bald were growing hair on their scalp, but they, you know, and they were like, man, what is going on? Again, this was for to improve you know, their blood flow. So from there, the pharmaceutical company got a hold to it, and they end up patenting it. And here you go, we have minoxidil, or you know, Rogaine. And so that's the thing with minoxidil. It does come with side effects, rash. Some people have experienced, maybe some guys said that they have experienced a degree where it has messed with their sexual performance. So yes, some guys who who had those particular side effects, or maybe they felt like their heart was racing a little bit faster than what normally the normal. So you had these particular side effects that come with it. It's a synthetic drug, right? So you're taking something that's synthetic. There's going to be pros and cons, right? You want the upside, but what comes with the upside? The other side. So, you know, and you're going to roll the dice and on minoxidil as it pertains to the beard. Now, when we get into the hair conversation, that's a whole nother conversation. But that's my take on minoxidil. And again, I tell everybody that if you're going to go that direction, just be mindful of what the side effects are. So that way, when you start to experience the side effects, you can go right to the doctor right away, and you're not playing around with that.
Yeah, I saw your video on that, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk with that kind of product, because I mean, I want a full beard, but I'm like, not that bad. Whereas, you know, making my heart race, potentially my hair fall out, and then like either. I'm trying to think. Somebody else was explaining to me that the hair falling out is just the product of the new hair growing in.
Yeah. So what tends to happen, and this is just a natural process, right? When your hair is growing, it begins to push out old hair to make way for new hair. Yeah. Essentially, that's essentially what, you know, what happens, and that happens with, if you're using a serum, an all natural serum, the same thing happens.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, do you have any like tips for anybody that's trying to get into, you know, growing beard, or like any, you know, routines for, you know, people that's trying to get into that?
Yeah. So if you are struggling with a beard, if you got some gaps that you want to close up, try a 0.5 millimeter derma roller.
Okay, that's the thing that they're using. I seen that recently too. A lot of people using that recently too.
Now, is that one of yours? Is that one of your products?
No, but you know what? This is what it is. This is what it looks like for anybody who may not be aware. It has micro needles on here, and what it does, it
pokes, and it
creates micro channels into your beard. And so what that does is it stimulates growth. Now there's studies, there's research behind this particular tool with men who were having issues with androgenic alopecia, and it showed how they were able to grow their hair. So then men started using derma roller for their skin, and then they started to see the benefits of using a derma roller for your skin. So that would be something that I would tell guys, hey, you know what, start with a 0.5 millimeter derma roller that's going to help with stimulating hair growth for those who are struggling. Now, in terms of just the upkeep of it, washing your beard, you want to make sure that you're washing your beard 1 to 2 times a week. Now, for my brothers out there who work in construction, for my brothers who are in the gym every day, my brothers who are out and about, maybe, you know, your thing is landscaping, or maybe you've been on a subway for an hour getting back and forth to work, right? So you got a lot of dirt, grime, pollution. Maybe you at the bus stop and the bus hits you right in the face with all the smoke.
Yeah.
So so if you're in those particular situations, then what I recommend for those individuals is to do what I call a beard co-wash, and co-wash meaning condition only wash.
See,
and
that's what you that too. Mm-hmm. I was doing that, like doing a co-wash just with the conditioner in the water and just leaving it in and rinsing it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what the guys can use between their washes. and that way it still gives you a light and gentle cleanse, but at the same time without drying your beard out. Because once your beard gets to the level where it's dry, then it starts to break.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. My beard break. I try to keep it moist as soon as I get out the shower. Then I comb it. I have a beard comb. I don't have the derma roll. I need to get one of those.
Yeah.
But the tea tree oils, I tried it. Doesn't work. Not all the time. And
What are you using?
so I have some Jamaican castor oil I use. I've used that. I've seen a little bit of better results with it, but not too much. I have the beard balm from Shea Moisture. And then I have the beard detangler. So I use that as soon as I get out the shower. I comb it out a little bit so that way it looks a little bit more full. I used to have this beard. It used to like actually deep condition my beard. Like if I dig deep into it, but I had to use it while I was taking a shower though. I couldn't use it anytime else, and then dry it off as soon as I got out the shower. So
Nice.
I'm still on this journey. I'm still trying.
Yeah, I would say there's a technique for we have a beard hydrator. It's a leave-in beard conditioner, but it's a beard hydrator. It's the first hydrator that was on the market. When I got into this particular space, what I discovered was that a lot of people didn't take a scientific approach. There wasn't a lot of research being done when it comes to, especially Black men and our hair. There's not a lot of research, so you have to piecemeal a lot of things together, and then just piecemealing things together, and then also just using your own logic and reason to understand what is actually going on. I ended up becoming a trichologist, and a trichologist is where we help men who are, men or women who are suffering from hair loss. So I went through that process. So, of course, you got to go through the chemistry, science. It's you going right. I had to go. It's like going right back to school, and that was fun because you get to learn so much more. Because it's when they say it's skin deep, it literally is skin deep. But when you get to the hydration, no one had a hydrator. And I was bringing up that story because once I researched that our hair has a higher propensity to be dry, to be brittle, to be crunchy, to break off. We have a higher propensity, and that's due to the fact of how our hair curl. Someone, I don't know if it was UJ or UKC, but our hair gets coily.
That's me. That was me. Because mine gets really coily, and then even I can't get too many shaves underneath my neck. It bumps up quick, so I have to give it at least a week and a half before I get another shave underneath my neck.
Because I noticed, like, throughout the day, like, during the morning I can leave, put the oil in there, and it's, it's good. But then throughout the day, it'll start to get dry. So then I'll catch myself going and, remist it up and putting the oil back in there and getting it back right.
It sounds like I need a beard hydrator.
Yeah. Hey, you got the products. Go ahead and I'm ready to.
Send me your email me. Both of you email me your shipping address, and I'll ship a package out to you. So I did a beard. The beard hydrator was not in the market, and I'm like, am I the only one who's reading this? But again, people are not thinking. When a lot of times what happens with brands and people, they're not thinking from that level. They're just thinking, hey, I have a product. Let me get this off the shelf. Let me sell this product. I'm thinking of it more from a functional standpoint. How does this product function? And what is the problem? The problem is that we're trying to keep our beard on our face and not in the sink. Yeah. That's what we want to do. We want our beard to look, immaculate. We want our beard to look amazing. We want to get compliments. When we walk out the door, we want to feel unstoppable. How do we get there? Well, partially it's about us, of course, us grooming our beard is a very essential part. Excuse me, it's an essential part of our everyday look, right? Give me 1 second. So, launched that leave-in beard hydrator. I was like, man, there's nobody on this market that is want to help Black men who are suffering from dry beards. Pardon me. Who are suffering from dry beards. You got the wash, you got the oil, you got the balms, you got the butters, but all these things, the balms and the butters and the oils, they're causing men's beard to be much drier. But we didn't know that because nobody told us any of these particular things. So when I stumbled upon that, I was like, okay, we need to make that product. We need a beard hydrator. We need something that's going to add hydration to the beard so it can reduce the breakage, and it can increase the look and feel of your beard.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we launched that, at that point, that helped the whole market, because your Shea Moistures of the world, your Scotch Porters of the world, then they began to come out with their own version of a beard hydrator, which is great for the market, because we need more brands to have tools that's going to support us. And so we ended up coming out with the beard hydrator, and that was a game changer. Then following up with the beard hydrator, because you get guys, like yourself, Jay, will be like, oh man, I put the beard hydrator in, but my beard's still dry, throughout the day. I'm good the first quarter, you know what I'm saying? But by the time I get to the second and third quarter, I'm gassed out, right? I can't even make it to the end of the game. My beard can't even make it home. And so what happens is that we ended up bringing in the market it's called a rinse beard conditioner, which is, you can use it as a co-wash. We have a utility beard conditioner, which you can use as a co-wash. You can use it as a deep beard conditioning treatment. And then you also use it as a way to help retain the moisture. Because you have what they call, on each hair strand, you have these cuticles that are protecting your hair strand. And anytime those cuticles break off, it exposes your hair strand. So it may expose it to where you start experiencing flyaways. You might experience some tugging. You might experience split ends. You might experience knots. Like, these things you are experiencing due to the fact that you may have chipped cuticles. You just have a damaged beard, basically. And so you can add the hydration all day, but then the water is not the hydrator. Your beard is not able to retain the moisture. And I always say this: think of a bucket, and at the bottom of a bucket, there's a small hole that somebody had poked in, and you don't even know. So you pour water in the bucket, and you keep looking in the bucket. You're like, man, I just pour water into this bucket. What's going on? You ever seen them cartoons?
Yeah.
They keep pouring water in the bucket. Well, that's what happens when your beard is damaged. You're pouring water in the bucket all day, but now what you start to find is that when you look in that bucket, there's no water in there, because the bucket itself is damaged. The same thing, that's what happens to your beard strand. It becomes damaged and it's not able to retain the moisture. So with my beard conditioner, that's one of the functions, is to help you retain it.
Okay. So how do you feel about beard bonnets? How you feel about those? I seen like a lot of people went. I thought about, just keeping, like they say, keeping the moisture in while you go to sleep. Because I know when I wake up in the morning, my beard is just smushed and is.
I would get one if I had a big enough beard. I'd get one.
You know what's interesting? Somebody sent me. This is back in 2016. Somebody sent me a prototype. They sent me a prototype of this. I think I still have the prototype. And this is before it got into the beard community. This was like years before it got into the beard community. And what I would say is that it definitely has a place in the community. And I think that it definitely would help improve, keep your beard maintained, especially throughout the night, right? And I think that when you're sleeping, it's very vital to keep your beard healthy by reducing friction.
Yeah, because the toss and turn and.
Yes, so I think that the beard bonnets is an option for those who are okay with having something on their beard. Me, on the other hand, it's tough to have something on my beard.
Yeah.
Shoot, I used to try to wear the little eye blockers for the sleep mask. I can't even keep that on my face. Yeah. So I can't even keep the beard bonnet on my face. It's just a me thing. Yeah, so what I do is I opt for a silk and a satin pillowcase.
Yeah. So
that gives me a little bit more range. Like, say if I got, a shorty over, we can still we can still connect in a real way, and I don't have to have nothing on my you know.
Yeah.
And keeping it player
You
too
feel
with a
me?
little silk, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. The transition, the
Yeah.
transition is easier.
She's like,
Before
he
you know, you
has
got
silk. Yeah, he has satin pillowcases.
Hey,
thinking
man.
about he's thinking about me and my situation.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
true. That's true. They laid the
absolutely.
thing down on the pillow. If they don't want to put the bonnet on, that's you.
And if you think about that, she's gonna be like, wow, like man,
He's really
wow, it's gonna put you ahead of the game. It's gonna put you
Yeah.
ahead of the game because men are not thinking about those things. So
Yeah.
I opt for a satin silk pillowcase, and that's something that I've definitely preached for other men that listen, you want to get you a satin or a bonnet, beard bonnet, but if you don't want nothing on your jaw, then another option would be a satin pillowcase or a silk pillowcase that you can just, you'll be able to have. And what that does is that reduce the friction. So that way you're not waking up to your beard all over the place, right?
Man.
Caked up. Another thing that I would say that you need to utilize at night is a hydrator, because if you go to sleep to a dry beard, you're going to wake up to an even drier beard.
I done did that. I done did that being lazy.
I'm always lazy, so I
went
do
to sleep
it.
and woke up and it's just dry, and I was just, oh man.
Yeah. I never really take care of my beard like that. See,
so
it's
do you?
not even packed down. Go
So,
ahead.
so do you offer a shampoo too?
Yeah. So we have a beard wash,
Okay.
right, which is our shampoo. We have a moisturizing beard shampoo. It's all natural ingredients. The thing about it is that we have a moisturizing beard wash. And for our beards, again, we have to be very particular about our beard because of the fact that it does coil up. It's, we have curly, wavy, the feel of it, the texture of it is coarse. So we want to make sure that we are maintaining moisturization throughout the entire process, right? So that's where our moisturizing beard wash comes into play.
Okay.
Gotcha. So one other question I got for you is, besides your product, who out there has the best like beard product or just skincare product for Black people in general?
Well, I mean, when you the best, there's nobody else. There's nobody else there. I mean, there's only one. There's only one Kyrie. There's only one LeBron James, Steph. Right? These guys, they're 1-on-1. There's nobody better than them. So, but what I would say though, there are some really great brands out there. And if you're looking for skincare products, man, I would say that it's going to depend on your skin type, because you got to discover what your skin type is. If it's oily, dry, combination, whatever. Because what happened with some of these skincare companies that I've seen, they all don't have the product. They may not have that particular tool that you need for your skin type. So if you have oily skin, then you may want to stay away from a wash that may foam up for an example, right? You may want to stay away from something like that. If you have acne prone skin, then you want to stay away from things that's going to agitate your acne. Or for example, if you have oily, let's just say oily skin, then you want to look for products that if they do have oils, it's essential oils, right? If they do have oils. But again, with essential oils, you have to be very careful with that, because some essential oils your skin may be sensitive depending on the ratio of how much they actually use in their particular product. So I would just say, not every company has every skincare product for what your skin needs. Just know that you need to make sure that you cleanse your face twice a day, morning and night. You want to ensure that you are exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week. If you want clear skin, definitely exfoliate. If you want brighter skin, you want to moisturize morning and night. And I think one of the things that we want to start incorporating is an SPF, a sunscreen, right? They said black don't, excuse me for that. It just dropped out of nowhere. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes. Yeah, excuse the yeah, that was pretty interesting. Um, yeah. So for skincare, that's what we were on. Skincare. You at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you want to use a sunscreen. And the reason, and the thing about it is that sunscreen has some active ingredients. One is going to help with your hyperpigmentation, and then also is going to help with keeping you looking youthful as well. Because yes, definitely, we have melanin. Everybody has melanin. You know,
Yeah.
phenomelanin. I mean, there's an array, of different types of, as far as melanin is concerned. And yes, we've always been told, but black doesn't crack. But our skin can get older,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. We're here to preserve the skin as much as we possibly can. It's a protector barrier. It's there to protect, but there's things that we can do to enhance that protection, and that's by way of using sunscreen, especially if you're out and about. If you're out and about, because what happens is that, over time, the sun rays can start impacting your skin to the level that where it starts to cause what they call oxidative stress. Oxidative stress causes inflammation. It can break down the skin barrier, and then your skin can look really just saggy, old, dusty, and you something that you may not like. So that's why, I've been an advocate of sunscreen. Prior to that, I wasn't, and I definitely wasn't. But
You hit the Miami streets,
you
you'll
know,
find out real quick. You know what I'm
you
saying?
hit the Miami streets, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
also,
Oh yeah.
a lot of I got friends who are dermatologists, and we've been able to have this discussion in at length, and been able to talk about these things, and also just doing research. But definitely don't skip out on the sunscreen. I had a bad reaction. I went out to, quick story. I ended up going out to Colombia, and
Mm.
that's right there by the equator. So you're gonna get nothing but sun. And man, I came back looking real froggy. Oh
Two
man, it
shades
was just
darker, boy.
2 shades darker. My face was bumped up. Oh man, it looked like I had dirt on my skin. Like that's
Oh
what it looked
man.
like. It wasn't like a shade, like, okay, you got a tan. No, it looked like it was like a layer of dirt on my skin.
Damn.
So that
Okay.
sun really impacted my skin when I came back, and I had to really, start when I started using our skincare products. That's when I started to really get my skin back to where it was clear. I felt confident, and I looked amazing. So my skin was looking amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, that I know firsthand how that sun does us, and I had to learn the hard way because my skin started peeling. I went out in that
yeah,
Florida heat, started messing around. Yeah, nah, I was like, get what is it, the sun ray block or whatever it is that
Yeah.
come in the orange bottle. I had to lather myself down in that, and then don't get in the pool and try to come out with no suntan lotion on because it's gonna be even
yeah,
worse.
yeah, nah,
Um,
absolutely.
so Alexander Grooming is is it just, I know you got another partner, so when did y'all
Mhm.
really like put the brand out there, and what entails
2018.
2018? Okay, so what all comes with Alexander Grooming? I want to know.
So yeah. So we started Evan Alexander 2018. And again, we had a store. Like, I had Black Men's Beard, the platform, community had a store. At the time, it was called Black Men's Grooming Den. And in Black Men's Grooming Den, I had all these Black-owned brands. And what I wanted to do was be the bridge to bring in the community and these Black-owned brands. So, but one of the things, again, for me, customer service is very important. The customer experience is truly important.
Hmm.
And when you are doing, at the time, it wasn't called drop shipping when I started, but over time it became what they call drop shipping. But for me, I wasn't dealing with companies out in China. I was dealing with local brands here in the States. And but when you're doing when you have that type of business model, the customer experience really takes a hit, because once they come to your store and they make a purchase, then now you're at the mercy of the brand to send them their product
Right.
in a certain time period, or they have to handle all the, if they don't get their packaging, and then the refund, or you trying to coordinate between the company and the customer. You're the middleman, and
Hmm.
it can be quite frustrating, because you want to serve the customer, you want to give them the best, give them the best experience, but it can be hard when you're dealing with another brand and they have their own situations and issues as just any company that is growing and are looking to build. So I ended up, me and my business partner, we were like, hey, you know what? We can offer our community a better product, better products, and better service. So that's when we went in and said, hey, let's come up with Evan Alexander. Evan being my business partner, Joe, his last name, and Alexander is my son's name. And that's how we came up with Evan Alexander Grooming.
Dope. And you guys are based out of Atlanta. That's your base right now.
Yes, we're based out of Atlanta. Another thing about that is that, it kind of helps to drive the point or drive what some of our values are, is that we saw a lot of guys using products that were unhealthy for them. Like they weren't safe. For example, if you're using ingredients like parabens, different ingredients that you may be using that may not be safe for your skin. I had a guy who his daughter, I think his daughter's son had eczema, right? So for him, he was very particular about the ingredients because his daughter, she's young, she's rubbing up against his chin. So he was very particular about, hey man, I just can't be using any ingredients, or is it going to cause her skin condition to flare up? Yeah. So those are things that we've been able to say, hey, you know what? We have a product, we have an all natural product for you that's going to be safe for you and your family. So that way you all can do the things that you enjoy, but you don't have to sacrifice your look.
I saw a video on you. You talked about on your channel Biotin. Now I've heard different stories about using Biotin. It helps you with your skin. But you had the latter on that. You were like, you don't recommend it.
Yeah, Biotin was more marketing than it was outcome, right? And so when you do the research, there's no study that says you take this biotin right here is going to create beard hair. There is no research at all. Biotin, one, is a vitamin B, so it's water soluble. That's number one, meaning that it's something that you got to have every single day. Yeah. All vitamin Bs are water soluble, so you have to have that every single day. The second thing about biotin is that your gut already makes biotin. Your body already makes the biotin that you need. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that with biotin is that what guys don't understand is that if you don't understand that you can be throwing off mechanisms in your body. For example, you have what they call panthenol. And so with panthenol and biotin uses the same, let's say the same highway, if you will. They use the same highway, but the thing about this highway is a one-laner. It's a one-lane highway. So if you don't have the right ratios, then what you can do is you can cause an accident on that particular highway. And I'm sure everybody has seen those particular catastrophic accidents, right?
Yeah, and in Atlanta, man, come on.
So you know, yeah. So if you don't understand the ingredients, if you don't understand the pathways, if you don't understand how these ingredients are communicating with one another, then you can throw off the panthenol, or you can throw off the biotin, right? You can throw off these particular ingredients because they both share the same pathway. So people are over consuming biotin because they're like, man, biotin, okay, let me get some more. Oh man, my hair. Oh, I need more. Oh, I need more. They're thinking that more is better. But that's not the best vitamins. The best vitamin, if you really want the best vitamins for your beard and your hair, then you want to look at vitamin D, specifically vitamin D3 with vitamin K2. Vitamin D3 is.
I was just about to say that vitamin D. Yeah.
Yeah. So and vitamin D3 is very important because it helps with the activation of the molecules that goes into your hair growth cycle. And in your hair growth cycle, you have like 3 phases. You have the anagen, which is the growth phase. You have the telogen phase, which is the transitional phase. And then you have what they call, the catagen phase, which is the transitional phase. Telogen phase is the shedding phase. Mm-hmm. And each particular hair strand that we have is in any of these particular phases at any given time. They're not in the same phase at the same time. If that was the case, we have seasons when we have hair, we have seasons when we wouldn't have hair. So thankfully, that wasn't the case. That didn't happen. Gotcha. We would be in bad shape. So the vitamins that you should be paying attention to and should consume is vitamin D3, vitamin K2, vitamin A, because vitamin A induces anagen. And also vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important because it's going to, of course, boost your immune system. But if you boost your immune system, you boost the strength of your hair. You also want to have vitamin E. Vitamin E is very important because it's an antioxidant. And because of the oxidative stress can break down our hair follicles. Hence that it can slow our hair growth cycle or just our hair growth. So that's another vitamin that I would recommend that, those would be the priority of vitamins. If you're going to take those particular vitamins: vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K. Those are some of the vitamins that I would definitely recommend for anybody if you're going to take any vitamins.
But you're throwing away biotin. You like, no.
I'm not saying, well, you don't, your body makes biotin already. Your body makes biotin. So you're not throwing,
I'm just talking about the supplement that you can buy in the store, not.
I would say if you're going to like buy the supplement that is just biotin, then you might want to put that to the side. Yeah. Because one, your body is going to use what it needs, and then whatever it doesn't need to use is going to discard. So you're probably, throwing away a lot of money anyhow. But then you have some vitamins that does have a degree in biotin, but typically they have that particular vitamin in there because it coincides with another vitamin. These things work together. It's a science to this. This is not something where you can just, let me go ahead and put on my shirt. Let me put on my shoes. If you get that wrong, all you gotta do is go back in the house and change your clothes.
Yeah, but that's why it's so hard to navigate like the whole beard community or just the black man's grooming community, because there's so much information. You don't really know what'll help and what won't. And I'm gonna be honest, I only subscribe to channels that I can use objectively. I can listen to their stuff and tell them they're being solely objective, not just I tried it on myself. So when I came to your channel and I listened, I was like, oh, he's talking factual. He's not talking like, oh, I just did this and this worked. You got a lot of those channels out there for like even young guys who try to grow their beard out or just take care of their skin, and they'll listen to it and they'll be like, well, he's saying this vaccine works for him, so it must work. It's not the same thing. Everybody's DNA is different.
Everybody's skin and hair works differently.
Like you said, your skin might be oily, your skin might be dry. You never know what you need, but I like to go off of facts based on what will or what won't work for my skin or my beard. And I was like, man, this dude's spitting. And you even talk about health stuff as far as sleep and other stuff. So you get the whole gambit from him, like on his channel. Go check his channel out, guys. If you're watching Black Man's Beard.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Now, it's for me, it's very important to be as close to the facts as possible, because that's going to outlive everything. And so the thing about it is that you want to empower people to give them the information, and then they can go research the information themselves. And then in fact, when you go research the information, it'll actually stick with you longer, because you heard me say it, right? So that's one thing that you got. But then when you go and you're actively going out and say, okay, let me go ahead and check the Biotin study. Yeah. When you read the study for yourself, now it all comes together and like, oh, okay, and it clicks. But typically people don't do that because, we live in a microwave society and people want things to be spoon-fed, which is okay. For me, so with that being said, it's very important to give as close to the facts as I possibly can. And if there's something that new data, new information that comes out, then that trumps what I said, then hey, it trumps it. This is new data. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm solely fact based, and I don't put anything in my body. I have to see, I have to at least hear an excerpt on what actually is going on with what I'm putting in my body, because ultimately, you know, you get one body, and at the end of the day, if you put something that might not fit in your body, it'll just throw everything off. It's like that with a lot of stuff. So when I normally, if I'm looking for like skincare products, hair care products, I'm looking for, all right, is there a result to this? How many people? And I look at reviews too. If I go on Amazon, if I'm buying something, I look at reviews. So I try to be as I'm not a microwave person. I'd like to do my research on a lot of stuff when it comes to my skin and beard. So I take the time out to research.
No, that's excellent.
You have something, Jamie?
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of another question. I want to know about, like, okay, so you talk about the sleeping, and then what's a good food to get all these vitamins, like the vitamin D, the vitamin C. What's the best foods?
And well, one of the things I share with people is this, to say, hey, before you want to know, you want to get your panels. And I do, for men who are thinning, who are balding, I do, as a trichologist, I do these one-on-ones, virtual one-on-ones. And I always tell the guys, you need to know what's going on inside, because if not, it would be as if you get in the car and you have no dashboard, right? You don't know you don't know how much gas you have, you don't know how fast or slow you're going. You don't know if your engine light came on, or you just don't know. And that can be dangerous. I don't know about you, but I would take a wild guess that if an Uber pulled up with no dashboard, unless it was something new technology that Elon Musk came out with, hey, you probably wouldn't get into that particular vehicle, because you wouldn't feel safe. Well, it's the same thing when it comes to, eating and knowing what vitamins and minerals and things of the nature that you need or you're consuming. If you don't know that you're low on vitamin D, then you can be over indexing on vitamin D. Yeah. So for me, I know I went to my endocrinologist when I was dealing with hair loss and I was losing my hair. I went to my endocrinologist. So I started doing a whole bunch of things. And one of those things would go to an endocrinologist, because I know that I know my hair loss because I was diagnosed with telogen effluvium, and I was diagnosed with two different types of hair loss. Telogen effluvium, I was diagnosed with androgenetic alopecia. And androgenetic alopecia is hormonal. So I was like, well, let me go see an endocrinologist, because they deal with hormones. And hormones communicates is the communicator in our body. Well, I was low on vitamin D3, so I started to take vitamin D3, and I was taking I think 10,000 IUs. I was just like, oh, wait a minute, I'm losing my hair. I need to take as much. I need to get as much as I can. That was my mind. I started panicking, and I go back to my endocrinologist. My endocrinologist looks at my chart. It's like, you are taking way too much vitamin D. You need to slow down, cowboy. So if you don't, then you can cause more damage. Now you're going to have another issue. You can have a kidney issue, a liver issue, right? If you're over indexing on these things. So that's why I'm a firm believer. Go to the doctor, get your lab test done, go get a mineral analysis as well, so you can know exactly what you need. Because what you may need, KC, is different from what Jay needs, or for what I need. Like we all may have different needs depending on what our lab reports say. And so so at that point, once you got your dashboard, once you have your lab reports, then you will know, hey, do I need more cauliflower? Do I need more broccoli? Maybe I want to eat anti-inflammatory foods like your bell peppers. No matter, I would stay away from the green bell peppers. I'll stay with the red, yellows,
I just bought
oranges.
I bought a whole thing of bell peppers. Green
It's
bell
all
peppers.
good. It's all good. Work with it. You can work
with
it. You want to, those are anti-inflammatories. They have and they also have antioxidant properties. Anything red, anything with color, that pigment. It can be blueberry, it can be bell peppers, it can be apples, it can be anything with that pigment, purple, red, like that has Beets is really great,
Beets
especially
are
for
really
energy.
good, especially for your sex drive. I mean, sex too. Sex
Because
drive.
because one of the things that you need for your sex drive is blood flow.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to make sure
Ah,
our blood flow. We want to make sure that that's healthy at all times. Because once your blood flow takes a hit, then
it's
everything else.
what you're saying is very important because a lot of black men, I mean, well into their 30s, 40s, we don't go to the doctor. That's one thing we don't do.
Yeah.
Just going into my late 20s into my 30s, I started going to the doctor more often and just trying to get, like you said, your charts and seeing, your dashboard, see what's going on with you, see if you got too many ketones in your pee or whatnot. Like I asked my doctor specifically, all right, I need a whole entire breakdown of what I'm deficient in, and they'll literally, within like 2 or 3 days, they'll give you an email chart of what's going on with you.
Okay.
So
Nah,
that's some good information.
that and I would it would behoove all men, more men to go out there and get your charts, man, because if you don't know what's going on under the hood, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Nature gonna always have the last laugh.
Yeah.
So get in front of it before it gets in front of you. And so that's why I think it's very important to do that. So that way, what you need, what you should be consuming every day and what you should be eating every day and what you should not be eating every day. See, when you don't, when you operate, when you operate blindly, when you operate with no information, then you'll be making decisions that go against your biochemistry, that goes against the things that you want to accomplish in life, but you may not understand that due to the fact that you may not have the information. And that's why I really enjoy talking about beards, hair loss, skin care, because, I'm able to share with men, hey, these guys that come and do my one-on-ones, some of them haven't gotten a physical. Some of them haven't never gotten their blood work. And if they did, it's been like years. So now we're getting these guys to go right back go to see a doctor, as you just mentioned. Now you go see your doctor. Now you get your labs. Now you can really understand what's going on. I had one guy, he was experiencing hair loss. We looked at his labs and his cholesterol was off. So if you know anything about cholesterol, what that does is that it begins to clog up your arteries and your capillaries. Now your capillaries is what you have like here in your frontal
See, I wish
temporal
I
area.
knew you about 5 years ago because I lost my hair. And I
Okay,
started to lose
okay.
it like right there too. Exactly
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, nah, and that's typically that's called male pattern baldness. That's typically how the pattern starts and it begins to work itself around. And so we can talk to these guys, say, hey man, go check your cholesterol, because if you don't have good blood flow, then there's three things that in your blood that if we're talking about your hair, your skin, or pretty much in your entire body, there's three nutrients that you need. You need the vitamins, you need the minerals, and the number one out of all of them, the top dog, is oxygen.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. You need those three essential nutrients to feed, to nourish your skin, your hair, your beard. If your arteries, your capillaries are clogged up, the last thing you're gonna be worrying about is your hair. You need to start looking into your cardiovascular health, because then now you get into heart disease. Now we start talking about, you get into diabetes, you get into high blood pressure, you get into these type of conversations where we start to have real conversations.
The
Your
scary
hair is
conversations, yeah.
things that you should be caution about. And it's tough for men, because it's tough for us because we don't want to know what's on the other side, because if we know if we hadn't been to the doctor in a while, then we know there could be a high probability that there could be something on the other side, right? That could be detrimental. So, but it's important to know. I want to know. I don't want to be out here knowing that there's something that there's a clock ticking, and unbeknownst to me, I don't know what the day of the hour is, because I haven't done my due diligence in making sure that I know what's going on inside of my body. So I think it's very important for us as men to be very diligent, be very consistent, and be very be very active when it comes to going in and checking on these things, getting all these, checking your thyroid, checking your testosterone levels, right? I had another guy, he's 32 years old.
Yeah.
His testosterone levels were low, right? So now he's going back and forth and trying to figure that out. And he's losing his hair. So these things are impacting us on an everyday basis. And with your hair your hair, when you start losing your hair is an engine light. And the engine light is telling you that something's going on in your body. You need to go get a check.
Yeah, that's super important. I got my testosterone checked last year, and I was just like, I needed to make sure everything was okay, because I noticed the one thing with testosterone, or low T as they call it, like your energy level just goes down. Like everything's just like, before you used to be able to just get up and go, like I just felt like I couldn't get up in the morning like I wanted to. I had to get an energy drink or something. I was just like, so I went and got that checked out. So that's highly important, especially for black men. Our expectancy rate for death is like almost like 75, I think.
70 or something, yeah, it's in the 70s, definitely.
Yeah, and we don't talk about it as much, but the beard thing is all tied into your health. Everything is tied back into your health. So your beard, I mean, the hair too is all an indicator, but the beard too, and I think that's like a launching pad for us to talk about health within not just black men, but the black community in general, and how the disparity is so large within, health between us and other races, and how we gotta be cognizant, because, bro, we have the largest rate of death with diabetes, high blood pressure, and a lot of it's just misinformation, or just information you haven't gotten before. Like, especially it's hereditary too. Diabetes is hereditary. I know it runs in my family, so I have to be extra careful about the sugar. I had to educate myself on the sugar, on the breads that turn into sugar, a lot of stuff that turns into sugar that you don't realize turns into sugar. And I was like, oh, I wasn't aware of this until I actually started looking into it. I'm like, I didn't know eating such and such could, cause you to have diabetes, or you not getting enough of this, so that's why I like your channel, because you go full surface with it. It's like you're getting everything you need, and you do the shorts too. I know the shorts are important too.
Yeah, the shorts are very important.
Yeah. So I can't say too. Your channel is great, man. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you.
So I know we took up a chunk of your time. I definitely appreciate you, man, stopping by.
I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's Cinco de Mayo. What you got planned for Cinco de Mayo, family?
Man, I got work. I got a lot of work to do. So that's what I'll be. That's where I'll be at.
That's where you be at.
I'll be in the office in my work.
I love it. Working, staying working. I mean, you got nothing but opportunity, man. Before we get out of here, please plug everything you got going on. That's what we about. We about plugging.
Yes, man. Thank you. I thank you, gentlemen. I deeply honored for coming, inviting me onto your show, your podcast. I greatly appreciate that. And you can find me if you're on TikTok. It's Brandon Martell P. You can check me there. If you want to follow me on YouTube, if YouTube is your preference, Black Men's Beard. If Instagram is your preference, then Black Men's Beard on Instagram. Also on Instagram, you can check out our company, Evan Alexander Grooming, and you can check out us on TikTok, Evan Alexander Grooming. So go ahead, check that out. If you guys have beard questions, hair questions, man, please ask me, because at the end of the day, I'm here as a resource for you. I'm here to be a resource. That's what I'm here to do. So use me. I'm a firm believer is that, if no one can use you, then you are useless.
I gotta give you some hand claps and some air horns, because I've been saying that for the past 2 years. I'm like, look, I give you another air horn, man. I've been saying that for the past 2 years, because it's just like the people around you are going to give you the energy, and if they're not giving you any energy, you need to get rid of them.
Right. And I don't want people to take what I said like, oh, I ain't want nobody to use me. No, we're not talking about in that context. You have to be a utility for people. Yeah. And if you're not a utility for people, then you are going to go in the waste bucket. So to refrain from us going in that direction, and it's important for us to be useful because we are a part of a community. And if I'm doing what I need to do, Jay, T, I mean, if all you guys, Casey, if you guys are able to do what you guys are doing and somebody else is doing what they're doing, we become a collective, and that's how we're able to rise to the next level, because that each one of us are making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, and because we are part of the greater community, then we're going to improve the community. I'll leave with this quote, and this is part of my mission just in life, my mission statement in life, and also my vision is that the one thing is that I'm here to, serve the community selfishly, right? People are like, well, selfishly. Yes, I'm going to be selfish about serving people. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is this, is that you can determine the quality of the community by the quality of the children. You're going to determine the quality by the quality. So remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that. So I appreciate you, KC. I appreciate you, J Moon. I'm definitely grateful. Please send me your shipping address, and let's go ahead and make that happen so I can get those products in your repertoire.
Oh, we definitely going to send you that shit.
I was just about to say, be looking out, because I was going to head. As soon as we got off, I was going to go purchase some stuff.
Hey, we always purchase stuff, so we support Black businesses regardless. So even if you wouldn't have sent us, I'm gonna buy some just off GP anyway.
Yeah,
because that's how we do.
So just be on the lookout for my order, man. As soon as we get off
the phone. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, this wraps up episode 10, season 3 of the Bruh Podcast. Thank you, B, for joining us. Black Men's Beard. Go subscribe to his channel right now. Great content. The best content on YouTube when it comes to Black people's health care. Point blank period. I'm your host, KC. Before we get out of here, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all listen, rank us on the Apple, Spotify, all that.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, all of that.
Yeah, we got more content coming to y'all. Juneteenth is coming up too. Hope y'all people, B, you better be out there too. I better see some content surrounded about Juneteenth. But let's get on out of here. Again, I'm your host KC. Join alongside me is my co-host
J Moon,
and we out this thing.
All right,
peace.